today supports about 15% of the total credit that goes to the MSMEs in India. So roughly that figure of credit to MSMEs is about 23 to 24 lakh crores. And therefore, on our balance sheet, we have about 15% of that through indirect and direct lending. But having said that, it's really about the journey that SIDBI has undertaken in the space of investment, in the space of supporting MSMEs, in the space of venture capital. And that has been quite interesting. We have, of course, as I said, a corpus of 10,000 commitments made across 109 alternate investment funds. So as I said, this is really a fund of funds program where funds are given to AIFs, which in turn invest in startups. The contract between us as an LP and the AIF is that they must invest twice the money that they get in startups. And I'm happy to say that as on date, with commitments of 8,800 crores, disbursements of 3,700 crores, 74 AIFs have actually raised 14,000 crores based on a disbursement of about 3,700 crores. So that's about 4 times the amount of money that has gone into startups. The funds have invested in 800 plus startups. And of course, we've even seen some initial exits, and therefore we know the kind of quality of investments that have been made. And it's been pretty good. It's a bit too early to talk about returns that we have got, but they're certainly looking interesting. There's been direct employment of over 70,000 people, 22% women. The overall employment supported through the startups investments is about 2.5 lakh. And we have 100 plus startups in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities with 1,000 crores being invested in them. We have more than 80 women-led startups out of that figure of roughly 800. We have first-time fund managers. Now that's very important from the way we look at it, is that in a country where the VC sort of ecosystem was very much there, and as I said, SVCL, SIDBI Venture Fund was one of the early VCs. But there were not too many venture capital funds or AIFs. So we have actually got 44 out of those 100 are first-time AIFs which have taken money from the Fund of Funds program. And let me just sort of take you through a few interesting schemes which have come about, because some of it is actually quite interesting and takes you by surprise. So we have the Startup India Seed Fund scheme, which has got a corpus of 950 crores. This is something that's currently running, and it has actually gone across 140 incubators. The total number of incubators in this country is roughly counted at around 600. They could be of various sizes, including an IIT Madras at one end and a completely small private sector entity at the other end. We have, from this set of incubators, which have been funded by the Startup India Seed Fund, we have more than 800 startups with investments of more than 140 crores. We have the BIRAC scheme, which has run for several years. It has committed over 250 crores to about 125 startups. We have the BioNest scheme, again from the same department, committing 371 crores to over 63 incubators. We then have something called the Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurs. That's called TIDE, which is a scheme of the MITI. And we have an outlay of about 265 crores. More recently and more celebrated amongst this particular audience would be the kind of innovations and products that are coming from startups in the defense industry. helped entirely by a very innovative scheme from the Defense Ministry, which is the Innovation for Defense Excellence, or IDEX, as it's known as. Then, of course, the largest of all is the Atal Innovation Mission with a corpus of 1,000 crores. We have a Raftar scheme in the Ministry of Agriculture. We have the DST with a variety of schemes. All told, I think we're talking about over 10,000 crores, which has more or less been put into the ecosystem over the last maybe 2 decades.